As I pulled up in front of the house, my excitement turned to a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The two-story Victorian stood tall, its faded white paint peeling off in defiance of time. The ornate wooden trim, once intricate and elegant, now weathered and worn. The front porch sagged under the weight of years gone by, creaking with each step I took towards the front door. Pushing the heavy door open, I was greeted by a musty scent, mingling with the dust particles dancing in the sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. The grand entrance hall stretched out before me, adorned with a sweeping staircase that seemed to whisper secrets. Over the next few weeks, the peculiarities of the house began to reveal themselves. I'd return home from a rainy day, only to find the second-floor windows wide open, raindrops spattering the hardwood floors below. It was as if the house had a mind of its own. The refrigerator became a source of confusion and frustration. Food containers I hadn't touched yet would be found open, their contents exposed to the unforgiving air. It was as if an invisible hand had raided the fridge in the dead of night, feasting on my provisions without a trace. But it was the clocks that bore the brunt of the ghost's disdain. Antique cuckoo clocks, proudly ticking for half a century, would inexplicably stop in their tracks. Brand new wall clocks devoured batteries like candy, leaving me constantly replacing them. And then there was my cherished watch, a faithful companion that met its demise one fateful morning. I woke up to find it lying on the ground, the crystal shattered, despite the fact that I knew I had fallen asleep wearing it. And that Kit Kat clock, oh how it stung. A brand new Christmas gift. Its iconic feline figure swung its tail back and forth, keeping time with a cheery smile. But the ghost had other plans. In the midst of cooking one day, I caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye. I turned, only to witness the cat clock hurtling through the air, crashing into the kitchen wall with a sickening thud. The once pristine timepiece lay broken and lifeless, a casualty of the ghost's destructive sense of humor. I couldn't help but personify her, assigning her a gender and a personality, even if it was just my way of coping with the chaos she wreaked on my life. We were like roommates, forced to coexist in this house of endless surprises. But while I paid the mortgage, she paid her rent, with a relentless onslaught of inconvenience and mischief. With each passing day, my frustration grew. What had driven her to haunt this house? Why did she take pleasure in tormenting the clocks? She was like a terrible roommate. It was in this confined space that the ghostly apparition would make its nightly journey, a spectral figure traversing from the bedroom to the bathroom. Its presence felt by all who encountered it. The old dude, with his wispy white hair and a countenance etched with the weight of the ages, became a resident of the apartment's ethereal realm. Night after night, his spectral form would emerge from the depths of the bed, his footsteps echoing softly in the silence. His purpose, a mystery that lingered in the air like a whisper, filled the space with an otherworldly tension. Guests, unsuspecting and unaware, would step into the apartment, their hearts beating in sync with the pulse of the haunted abode. Before their arrival, I would issue my customary warning, a premonition to brace themselves for the ghostly encounter that awaited them. Yet even with the fair warning, the sight of the apparition in motion was enough to make even the bravest souls falter. Mid-conversation, their voices would trail off into silence, eyes widening in astonishment as they locked gazes with the translucent figure. Holy cow, I just saw a ghost. Their voices would tremble with disbelief, confirming what I had foretold. The ghostly wanderer had claimed another unsuspecting victim. Coexisting with the supernatural was not without its challenges. The ghostly presence, a constant companion in the one-bedroom apartment, imposed its will upon the daily routines of its mortal inhabitants. With every creak of the floorboards and every flicker of the lights, the specter reminded us of its unwavering presence. The air grew thick with an otherworldly aura. Shadows danced upon the walls, their movements mirroring the wanderings of the old dude. Nights became restless, plagued by whispers carried on the wind, as though the spirits of the past were sharing secrets only they could comprehend. I became accustomed to the ghostly rituals that unfolded around me. Like a silent observer, I witnessed the ghost nocturnal path from the bedroom to the bathroom. As if tracing the footsteps of a phantom dance, the lingering fear gave way to a strange sense of familiarity, as if the ghostly wanderer and I had become reluctant companions in this spectral realm. The transition from the one-bedroom apartment to the three-bedroom house marked a new chapter in our lives, a fresh canvas upon which our future would be painted. With anticipation and a touch of trepidation, we stepped into the house that would become our sanctuary. The three-bedroom house stood tall and imposing, its exterior weathered by the passage of time. As we crossed the threshold, the scent of aged wood mingled with a subtle hint of mystery, welcoming us into its embrace. It was here, amidst the spacious room and echoing hallways, that we hoped to find solace from the ghostly encounters that had plagued our past. It didn't take long for us to discover that the ghosts in this house had a peculiar habit. They were chain smokers. The scent of lingering smoke permeated the main bedroom, as if the inhabitants had made it their personal smoking lounge. It was a fragrance that clung in the air like a ghostly haze, invading our senses and penetrating deep into our lungs. Night after night, the clock would strike an unearthly hour, and we would awaken, gasping for breath. The room, once serene, became a suffocating chamber filled with the noxious fumes of cigarettes past. Coughs racked our bodies, the sound of our lungs struggling to expel the phantom smoke that enveloped us. "Why do they have to smoke so much?" my wife would grumble, her voice a mixture of frustration and resignation. "I guess even ghosts have their vices," I replied, my tone laced with wary amusement. Sleep became an elusive companion as we grappled with the nightly ordeal. I woke up abruptly, my heart pounding in my chest, as the deafening sound of a door slamming shut echoed through the silent darkness. My wary eyes darted around the room, searching for an explanation. I called out, my voice with irritation, "Hey, can you please stop? It's in the middle of the night." But as the echoes of my voice faded away, a chilling realization washed over me like a wave of icy dread. I was alone in the house that weekend. My roommate had gone away, leaving me to endure the unsettling silence and eerie creaks of our old, haunted house. The slamming of the door ceased as soon as I yelled, yet an inexplicable force seemed to linger in the air. My gaze shifted to the entrance of my room, where a string of colorful hippie beads hung, gently swaying against the door frame. For what felt like an eternity, the beads danced back and forth, their movements both mesmerizing and disconcerting. They swung with a violent grace, their every sway sending a shuddering ripple through the air. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the eerie spectacle. A surge of fear gripped me, causing my heart to race even faster. Should I escape this unsettling phenomenon? The thought of popping out the air conditioning unit and diving through the window crossed my mind like a fleeting whisper, but I remained frozen in bed, curled up in a protective fetal position, as if the safety of the covers could shield me from the unknown. The swaying beads continued their ghostly ballet, their motion becoming more exaggerated and chaotic, as if responding to some invisible force. My mind raced, battling between fight or flight, while the beads continued their relentless dance against the doorframe. Finally, as abruptly as it had begun, the haunting sway of the beads subsided, and a haunting silence descended upon the house once more. I cautiously uncurled myself from the protective cocoon of my bed, my body trembling with a mixture of relief and lingering unease. I stared at the dormant beads, their stillness now eerily juxtaposed with the residual energy that hung in the air. My thoughts raced, desperately searching for rational explanations, but coming up empty. How could I explain what had just transpired? Once again, I found myself jolted awake at the unholy hour of 3 a.m. my senses on high alert. The house was shrouded in an eerie stillness, as if it held its breath, waiting for the impending strangeness to unfold. The sound that pierced the silence was unmistakable, a cacophony of electronic music blaring from the back porch. Confusion mingled with a hint of irritation. Was some drunk college kid stumbling around, seeking solace in our haunted sanctuary? I grabbed the nearest object that could serve as a makeshift weapon, a trusty old baseball bat that leaned against the bedroom wall. Clutching it tightly, I tiptoed through the dimly lit hallway, my heart pounding in my chest. With each step, the music grew louder, resonating through the walls and vibrating within my bones. It was as if the house itself was orchestrating this strange symphony, drawing me closer to the source. As I approached the back door, a mixture of trepidation and anticipation swirled within me. What would I find on the other side? Would it be another manifestation of the spectral presence that lurked within these ancient walls? Summoning my courage, I flung open the door, ready to confront the unseen intruder. But what greeted me was not the sight of a mischievous trespasser, but an abrupt silence, as if the music had been swallowed whole by the night. The porch lay before me, illuminated only by the ethereal glow of the moon. Not a single soul in sight. The emptiness of the night air mocked me, leaving me feeling both foolish and unnerved.